Hi YouTube. This week we're working on some birdhouses. If you guys are interested in having a class with me actually teaching it, I'm doing one at Hosner Gallery in Maslin. Details will be below. I'm pretty sure we said it was going to be April's 26th. I'm drawing a blank. Let me grab my calendar real quick. But while we are, yeah, it should be the 26th. So I'm pretty sure we said there's going to be 12 slots. Kids 10 to 18 are more than welcome to attend. It is mainly more geared for the kids. So if you want to do adult projects, I'm also thinking about trying to get a couple more thingies I can carve. So I can start doing some classes with that. But I think what I'm going to start everybody off with is just a spoon, because you can carve a spoon, you can carve anything. Plus they're useful and they're kind of fun. I'm not going to won't deny that. If I'm having a rough day, I'll go down and carve a spoon or two out. I thought I had a piece of wood over here that I used to carve them with. Yeah. Thought there was one. Thought I had one near me. But yeah, so anyway, birdhouses. Let me show you the basics of what we're going to be doing. I did use power tools for this for the sake of time for the video. In the class, I will be providing screwdrivers, and I'm pretty sure I'll have it shouldn't be too hard to drive them. And I will have a couple drills there just in case. If we get a couple hard pieces of wood, I'll have them on hand, so if we need them, we got them. But yeah, with that, let's go see how we make these. And when you're making them, don't blow the side out. Don't use more screws than you need. Don't be like my first attempt, because I actually deleted this video. Well, I have it, but if you guys want to see that too, let me know. I'll throw it up and we'll call that an epic failure, because it kind of was. Yeah, with that, let's get to it. While I'm thinking about it, so did you guys know that you can support me for not spending a cent by hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing my videos? It doesn't cost you a cent. It helps the algorithm see me a whole lot more, and it's totally free for you. It just takes 3 clicks. Just wanted to throw that out there. Thanks. Bye. All right, so we are at the workbench. Not somewhere you see me all that often, at least especially in the winter. But then again, sorry, it's really cold out here. All right. So, as I'm sure I've already covered, we are working on birdhouses. You'll have to excuse me while I grab everything. So, this is going to be our front piece. So this should be 5.5 inches wide. That's a hair off, but 5.5 would be 2 3/4 for the middle. So we're right there. I don't have a combination square out here right now. That's why I'm doing this with a tape measure. We're going to come down at 2 1/4, because that's, trying to think. That's 1 1/4 bit. 1/2 inch 1/4 would be what, 5/8? So there's 1/4. 5/8 would be right there. We're going to come down to 2 1/2. So that is our drill point. I already got my Forstner bit chucked in here. To start this, I'm going to go over my bench, and then I'm going to try to do this without clamping it, but you really should clamp something like this down. Was trying to do it in low speed, but it didn't like it. I didn't realize this bit was this dull. It's not going to take much more. The reason I'm going super slow, that hole right there is what I was wanting to generate without poking through. Because there's a little pokey hole thingy sits in there. So you just line it up in there. Set this down. And what that does with these bits, sometimes it leaves a real ragged hole if you don't. And that's just a cheater way to be able to get this to not leave too rough of an edge when it's done. I'm going to have to sharpen that drill bit too. And when you go to sharpen a Forstner bit, let me get this up where you guys can see it. You just follow this angle. Holy cow, that is dinged up. So that should be perfectly smooth. This one's pretty beat up. I didn't realize that. I'm going to have to sharpen this before I do any more. But you just follow that with a little file or piece of high grit sandpaper and just come in and you touch the edge up. It can be a bit finicky, but you know what? At the end of the day, if you do it right, it's worth it, because a drill bit like that will run you about $20 to $30 for, that's an Irwin marble. It's not the, they're not the greatest out there, but if you take care of them, they work pretty well and do last for a good long while. So, sorry, I just got a message. I got to grab my plans for this real quick. I thought I had them out here and I don't, so I gotta grab this. Okay. Oh, it doesn't tell me that. I thought this had how many holes or how many screws to put in. Sweet. I'm gonna put this up where you guys can't see it because I'm a jerk like that. Anybody that laughed at that, I appreciate that. And we are going to, what I want that for, or what I want the plans for, is so I know where to put, or how this is supposed to go together so it all fits right. So for this, or for this part rather, I need to stay within this part for holes that are pre-drilled. So I'm just going to put a real light line through there. I don't normally do this. I just want to make sure you guys can see about where I'm trying. I want to stay about in the middle of that. So I think 3 on the front should be good. So we're going to do the same over here. I'm going to try to keep them about even. You could probably get away with 2, but being that this is going to only have screws holding it together, ow, I really want to make sure everything is good. And this is going to be pre-made kits that I sell too. I'm getting ready to make a bunch. This is, well, I say getting ready to make a bunch, and I actually have 12 sets cut out over there already. This was going to be my template set, but it is entirely too cold to open my garage door up today. So I'm doing it out here. And then, you know what? I need 2 in the bottom too. I forgot. We got to screw the floor on too. And all I'm doing is hitting that with a little 220. It takes any of the rough bits off. I already went through everything. That's still a little sharp, but I already hit everything, and I tried to take all the really sharp edges off. Only thing I haven't done on this one is around the hole we just drilled. So I think I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm debating if I want to run this over a router table or not on the inside and outside. But I think in the kits I'm going to, but for today I'm not, just for time's sake. Because I am on a bit of a time crunch, but I'm trying to stay ahead on videos. So, all right. So there's that. Here's our 2 sides. The only thing you guys have never seen me cut is the miter, because this is an inch short, or this side's an inch taller than this. But I've got some stuff coming up this summer that I'm wanting to make that's going to involve a lot of that. So I will definitely be doing more of it. All right. No. There we. All right. I'm trying to keep the worst looking edges on the inside. Some of the boards, when I was able to afford wood, were not the greatest quality, so I'm at the mercy of what I can find most of the time. So, all right. Now, where did I put my screws? All right. And so for this, all you need to assemble it, I'll include all the screws you guys need. And this is something I think just about any kid could make with the appropriate level of supervision from an adult. Because you're not going to need to do any of the drilling. It's just going to be pure running of screws. But I think after this one I might grab a screwdriver bit just for time's sake. Actually, I'm going to do that right now because that's going to take forever. I'll be right back. All right, folks. So I'm going to try this again because I didn't like the first run of it. I also don't like how everything came out with it. I put it together weird. I used more screws than I should have. Had a couple other issues. So, stuff like gap there. Blew that side out. I was also looking at it and noticed that cracked because one of the screws went a little cattywampus on me. So we're trying it again. So we're going to start by taking the front piece. We're going to, all right, so this is a 5.5 inch wide board. We want half of that, which is what, 2 3/4, because half of 5 is 2.5, half of a half is a quarter. So 2.5 plus a quarter is 2 3/4 for anybody that struggles with fractions. That's also just how quick I can do it in my head because I've been from doing this way too much. And we're gonna hit right there where the little dot is. Might be hard to see unless you're on a bigger screen. And the way we do that, where's our angle? There it is. So you can see how that little nub sticks out. That's the very center of where we're going to drill. So all I'm going to do is line that up. I'll make that way it'll drop right in as soon as I stand up. This probably should be clamped, but hey, I've done crazier, so. And the trick with Forstner bits, once you get close to getting all the way through, that's when you want to stop and flip the piece over. We got about a little over a 1/16 of an inch left. All right, we got daylight. You can see that there's a little bit of a hole right there. You just take that, put that little nub back in that side. If you don't do that, it'll tear out the backside. Sorry. All right, I'll read that later. So, all right. So there's that. When I make these kits, I'm sincerely thinking about running this over a router table, but since this is just a test piece, I'm just going to take a little bit of sandpaper and go around the edge. I don't want any sharp edges. You don't want the birdies to get their wings hurt in any way. And something else I did off camera, I took this piece of sandpaper and I went over pretty much all the edges. I might have missed one or two, or I am trying to get this done quick because I need it done today. And the sooner I get this done, I can send pictures over to the store I'm going to be running a class where you can bring your kids to. And I'll show you guys how to make one of these and work with you start to finish. I think they said it's open to any age, 10 to 18. I might be wanting to go a little younger than that, but parental supervision is required for anybody under the age of 12, or if your kid's unruly. Because I'm not going to be yelling at kids. So from here, what we're going to do is, these are our sides. It's an inch difference from here to here. I got some other projects that are going to require doing miter cuts like that on the miter saw. It's that I'll be showing you guys how to do that with later. It is too cold to open the garage door, and I have 1 tank of propane left. My heater's pittering out right now. I'm trying to get as much out of it as I can because I'm too far away from it. So I'm done with this. I'm going to try to get some stuff done on the lathe and see if it'll actually run today. But yeah, so anyway. So for this, or for the assembly of this, what we're going to do is start with the roof. And this guy, and I want to see if That should work. You can see thread on either side. Um, there's a church you can look up, but I'm feeling lazy today. So, and this is another issue I had with the last one. The pilot holes I drilled weren't wide enough. So, dang it. All right. Starting to get cold, which doesn't help my ability to hold things. All right. So we are going to all right. And after I pre-drill these, I am going to give them a quick sand so there's no sharp edges. Trying to avoid as many splinters as possible. So, and we're just going to run this in. All right. All right. All right. So there's that. I want the other side. Oh. When you're doing this, make sure the angle's going the same way. I almost did that backwards. That would have been really funny. You know what? Alright. I'm getting cold. Heater's definitely running out of propane fast. Alright. Sorry, I was stretching on my neck. So, if you see anything rough like that, I like to get it at the bottom and at the front. Alright. Trying to think how I want to do this. Alright. I'm going to make this so it's going to take 2 screws to undo a side. Alright. Ow. Alright, so we'll do 2 screws on the top just to make sure it stays on. So, all right. Now, this is where I messed up the first time. Put the front on last. All right. The first hole went a little sideways and it blew out the bottom. So that's why I wanted to do the second one so we can keep it good. All right. So we got that. All right. All right. That's secure. Now, I don't like that, so we're going to put a couple, we need to secure this, but I also need one of these sides so you can pull that screw and that screw out and it'll hinge up so you can clean out everything that gets caught on the inside here. So, that way after the birds make their nest and they leave, you can open it up, pull the old nest out so they can, you can clean any old birdie waste, stuff like that out, old eggs, stuff like that. So I'm going to, we're going to go right in here, make sure that we're lined up there. It's actually a perfect angle for you guys. All right. All right. There's one secured. Now we're going to do the same. We're going to go look. All right. No screw blow-throughs, which means all of the pre-drilled holes are good. That one started to a little bit, but I'm not going to sweat that too much. And we do have a little gap here, but that was because of the wood. That should be good. So if you want, you can go through and caulk it, but I would suggest putting a nice thick coat of paint on these. That way you can make sure everything stays copacetic, and I'd also see, stays copacetic. No, what you want to do is put a nice coat of outdoor paint on these before you put them up. That way they'll last longer and you can, it'll seal the wood up a lot better. Because to make these, I was looking for strong wood, not pretty wood, because they really should be painted, at least on the exteriors, because there is no better finish for wood that'll protect it better than paint. All right, here's that. We want the same on the other side. We want to try to keep it about even. And I do have 3/4 of an inch to work with. Same for the rest of these, or when I have these finished, I'm also going to run a countersink through all the pre-drilled holes. All right. There's that. Now I want I want to make sure we hit the floor for the bottom 2 of these. So I'm going to if you can't tell what I'm doing, all I'm doing, or if you can't really see it, I'm putting my drill bit in line with the bottom, holding it straight parallel with where I want it to drill. And I'm just using that to come off because I don't want to hit the sides of these panels. I need to go lower. Some of these might go in a little cockeyed, but as long as it's in the bottom panel, it's all good. Because I want to secure this from the floor. And I definitely think I can go to the next size up on drill bits to pre-drill these. All right. And then just to be thorough, I do want to put a couple into the roof too. And then we're gonna sorry. Thought I was in frame. Those 2 screws will be where you mount it. That way you can put it on a tree, you can put it pretty much anywhere. That one's a little off, but it'll work. That way, I am going to make a small stand for this thing too, before I take it to the store. So, but yeah. So I don't think we need one on the roof though. All right. So all right. So now, while I'm thinking about it, I'm too short. So we need to and in the interest of trying to keep everything nice and symmetrical, all right. And I will have the extra drills on hand and a few extra kits, so if anything goes wrong, we can fix things. All right. And then, like I say, once at the end of the season, you go out to wherever you have it put up, run that screw out, run this screw out, a nice tight fit is kind of what I was hoping for on this, so I'm not going to complain. I just want a screwdriver to kind of help open this up. That way you can get in, pull everything out. This side's still a little off, but on the Future ones, I'll actually measure them out and make sure everything stays nice and straight. And you don't need it to open up perfectly. You just need to be able to get, even if you got to take it out in pieces to get that nest out of there. Or at the very least the eggshells if you want to leave the nest in there, which I don't think would be a problem. But there we go. There's your basic birdie house. I really like this.